Alright, well this is our discussion video for Chappie. If you've seen our review, we were pretty mixed on it, didn't really recommend it. It has some problems. Definitely don't watch this if you haven't seen the movie yet and you're planning to, because we are going to go into spoilers. You can check out the other video, which has just the review, no spoilers in it, and find out specifically what we don't recommend about it. As far as spoilers and things go, yeah, I mean, from the trailer and from the setup, even from the design of the robot, it's sort of, you're just waiting for the short circuit story to start. You're waiting for the AI story to start. You're waiting for Chappie to be a character that realizes that he's conscious, realizes that he's alive, and that takes so long to get going. I think to what you were saying before about, you know, it felt smaller and it felt more confined, and we were talking about like why Hugh Jackman's character exists and why Sigourney Weaver's character exists. I think a lot of those choices were based on budget. And what I mean by that is, I think that instead of having 20 people to represent what Hugh Jackman's character represented, they focused it on one. Yeah. So he's the one going against it, instead of there being like, you know, an army that's against what the police are doing. There's just Hugh Jackman and his one robot project. Right.
Because it represents that perspective.
Instead of having like a full government or a full, you know, board of directors or anything like that, you've got just Sigourney Weaver. So it's an economy of instead of giving us a whole bunch of characters or a whole, you know, sector of people to learn about, we're just dealing with it in these one and two people.
I never thought about that. Yeah, in that sense, it keeps it focused.
So yeah, from that perspective, the storytelling that focuses it in just if it's one person, and then you have very limited number of locations. You have a limited number of people that you need to introduce, and then beyond that, it's just okay. So you've got that in place. What story do you want to tell? And the story that they tell is, why do people have to die? And then Chappie figures out how to not die, how to like move.
There were like 3 different stories,
and then he saves Dev Patel's character, and then for some reason the neural network that's only designed for the human brain somehow saves him too. I didn't get that.
Consciousness is energy.
Didn't make sense to me, but whatever.
But you could store it on an SD card.
Well, Yolandi, you can. Yeah. Like the other guys had to use like.
They were saved by a Sony Bio.
Well, and he figured it all out with a cluster of PS4s. Yeah. He brought that thing up and it was like GPU PS4 cluster. And it's like, oh, you're kidding me. He made a supercomputer out of PS4s.
You know, but my big problem with it was there were scenes and dialogue ripped straight out of other movies. You know, he even had the Johnny Five I'm Alive scene, you know, where he says, I'm Chappie, I'm alive, I'm consciousness. Yeah. You know? And then the scene where Hugh Jackman takes the saw to him, straight out of RoboCop 2.
Oh, yeah?
Well, and Short Circuit, too.
Yeah. Drop your weapons. Yeah. When they were showing the scouts, that was said exactly like RoboCop. Yeah. You're coming with me.
And him against the big monster robot was another RoboCop thing.
It was just like...
The Ed 209.
What is happening? I've seen this movie before. I've seen all of these movies before.
And it wasn't... For all the stuff that it had going on, like... I didn't care about any of the characters. Like,
not at all.
When they killed Yolandi, I was like, okay. And when I thought Dev Patel was going to die, I was like, okay. Like, they didn't register. None of those characters made a difference to me. And then I was also okay with when he saved Dev Patel at the end and he wasn't going to survive. I was okay with that too.
Right.
You know, I didn't need Chappie to survive this story.
Yeah, there was nothing
No one connected to me.
Well, it was because there were so many different storylines throughout, but it focused on this big array of characters instead of focusing on one. Like in District 9, they focus on just the one guy. Mm-hmm. And you get attached to him. You see everything he's going through. You want him to succeed.
Yeah. I mean, this movie could have been interesting if, like, they had done the whole movie from Hugh Jackman's perspective. Like, he doesn't understand it, he's trying to stop it, and then he realizes, wait a minute, you know, there's something more to this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no real about turn like that, or...
There's no arc.
There's realization that happens, or some kind of...
Right.
I thought it might have happened where, you know, he's holding his gun and they're breaking into the place, and they trigger the alarm, and he's holding his gun out, and he sees the wounded guy and the robot helping. I thought he might have, like, oh, his humanity's going to kick in, but no, he just starts shooting.
Yeah.
Like, there was just so much in there that I was just like, why are you doing this? You know, why are you focusing on this character and this character and you know, the movie's called Chappie and he's kind of a secondary character.
Yeah. Well, it has this loud, bombastic action movie opening that's like, oh, okay, we're off to the races. And then it just slows down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea why he made the choices he did. The very end, where because at that point most everybody's dead or dying, it focuses on Chappie. Mm-hmm. That's when the movie becomes good. Why didn't you focus on Chappie throughout?
I mean, to me, it didn't get good or interesting really until Ninja went to sacrifice himself. He like kneels down, and then from that point forward I thought it was interesting because that's where
Chappie's angry.
Well, Yolandi shoots the robot,
yeah,
and the robot kills her, and then Chappie kills the robot, and then he gets mad. He runs back to the lab with Dev Patel. He takes out Hugh Jackman. He puts Dev Patel into the new body. And then, like, all of that I was cool with. Mm-hmm. Them being able to, or them hinting at the fact that they were going to be able to save Yolandi. Oh, no, they came right out and saved her. Like, that was the final frame of the movie.
Yeah.
That didn't work for me because I didn't care about her. I didn't need her to survive the movie.
One of my pet peeves is fake deaths in movies to get an emotional response.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh.
Well, and I felt like we didn't lose any, like, the only character that we had a name that died was America.
Right, yeah. Violently.
Yeah. That was quite violent.
He was like sitting on the toilet when the T-Rex showed up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But there were just like the start of the movie, it kind of, you get this vibe of the ethics behind creating an AI. Mm-hmm. And then you have the secondary story of nature versus nurture, you know.
Right.
And then you have this final story of why am I going to die? It was just so many different stories throughout this movie.
But they don't interlock or connect. It's like one starts and then ends, and then another starts and ends, and another.
Yeah, it really. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
There was no real overarching story, and the end just did not make any sense to me at all. I was just like, why is this happening? It should have ended.
There was a bit of a documentary beginning, like District 9, which I'm sure it was a homage to his own first movie, but it almost served no purpose because we never, there was no play out through the film of what they were saying.
I was more emotionally attached to Anderson Cooper than anybody else in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, just disappointing overall, and
technically a good movie.
Yeah.
You know, sound was good. I mean, you know, some of the visuals were really good. You know, color was good.
It was entertaining, but
you need.
But I'm gonna forget.
Yeah,
I'm gonna forget 99% of it.
Yeah, that's not what sticks
hour.
with you, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's our Chappie discussion. Hope you liked the video. We didn't really care for the movie, but if you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.